your spirit hasn't been killed by all the evil that's going on in this world. If it makes you happy, if it makes you sad but you want it, it's your life. Do it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Benny and I'm a Nigerian YouTuber based in Budapest. If you're new, thank you so much for stopping by. Please stay, hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and let's grow this community together. So as you can see by the title already, we're going to be talking about 10 things that I wish I knew earlier in my 20s. Every young person should learn. I wish someone made me understand. I mean, some of these things I actually knew, just didn't understand how important they were. The first thing I would say, or the first thing I wish I learned earlier on in my 20s, yeah guys, was to stop and smell the roses. Yes, I know it sounds cliche, so basic, but yeah, I wish earlier on in my life, at every stage, I just accepted where I was at the moment, instead of constantly trying to escape into something I feel is better. So I constantly had this feeling that I should be doing better than this, I should have more than this, I deserve better than this, which were all true, valid feelings that I was having. But at the same time, it would have been more profitable to just accept that, okay, for the time being, this is where I am, and how can I make the most of it? I made that mistake a lot, especially when I was in uni doing my undergrad, yeah, simply because I refused to just stop, accept where I was, make the best out of it, and just, you know, enjoy myself, looking forward to like better days or a better time or whatever it was that was the issue at the time. I would be happy in the moment, you know. At the time, things are not going perfectly, they're not as planned. Adulthood is not what you expected it to be. That's totally normal. Just stop from time to time, just take it in and enjoy exactly where you are while you're working for better things. So the second thing I wish I knew when I was younger, yeah, is 22 years old, 23 is not grown. It's not grown woman, it's not grown adult, it's not grown anything. Stop trying to grow up too fast. You're a young person. You're never going to get this selfish time back. Don't have too many expectations from yourself. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Say, oh, I'm an adult, I need to do this. Yeah, you're an adult, but you're a young adult, okay? So just chill, just relax. Trying to be somebody's mommy. Stop trying to be, I mean, if you're married, that's fine. At that young age, that's completely fine. But if you're still single, or like you're just in a relationship, stop trying to be someone's mom. You're too young for all that, okay? Stop trying to accept things that are supposed to be, you know, long-term issues, or things that like are for people who are in completely or, you know, tightly committed relationships. You're growing, you're not grown, you're still growing. Like when you're always trying to be grown, when you're always trying to act mature, when you're always trying to, you know, prove that you're a grown woman, it just rips you off your youth, is basically what I'm saying. Don't rip yourself off your youth just because you're trying so hard to be grown. Third thing I would say I wish I knew earlier in my 20s, yeah, is to not be so pressed about timelines. Everybody's, you know, big break, everybody's dreams, everybody's aspirations are going to come through at its appointed time. The fact that somebody did something at this time doesn't mean you have to do it at that time. The fact that people are becoming millionaires, billionaires by 22, 23 doesn't mean you should kill yourself because you're not a millionaire by that time. Because people are having kids at what, 23, 20, it doesn't mean you have to. It's good, it's fine, and if that is, you know, what you've been given at the time, then that's completely fine. But if not, there's no need to be pressed about timelines. Everything is going to happen when it's supposed to happen. Yeah, work on your dreams, work on what you need to do, but at the same time, it's not a do or die affair. Your paths are different. You might go down that lane and then realize many years later that that's not even what you wanted at the time. You may realize that that's not even what was good for you or right for you at the time, and you have a whole life ahead of you, so there's no rush. Yeah, you should try to achieve as much as you can when you're younger, when you still have all that energy, all that drive, your spirit hasn't been killed by all the evil that's going on in this world. But at the same time, don't be too pressed about timelines. Fourth point is kind of connected to, the other three things I have said already. Take more risks in life. And by this, I mean in all spheres. I wish I wasn't as risk averse as I am. I'm a very scared, paranoid, I don't want to do anything that's out of my comfort zone, and it really delayed a lot of things for me. It slowed down a lot of processes for me. I learned a lot of lessons late. I just wish I was, more of a risk taker. You're young, you'll be forgiven for your mistakes, you will receive guidance. At the end of the day, it's going to be counted as youthful exuberance when, if anything goes south. But imagine it goes right. Imagine it goes right. Take that risk. I mean, there's no such thing as a safe risk, but as long as it's not a stupid risk, as long as it's not a foolish risk, take it. Travel if you have the money, date that guy, be that girl, do what you want to do, follow your dreams. You want to start a business, go ahead and do it. Take the risk. It's the last 100k in your account, take it and start your business. Like, just take risks, okay? You never know where the luck is going to come from. You never know the beautiful things that will come out of like taking a risk. Fifth thing I wish I knew or I learned earlier in life is, you see, friendships, relationships, they can only work when you share a certain amount of values. So you have friends who don't share the same values as you, they don't share the same vision as you. It's never going to work. You're always going to feel alone. You're always going to feel like you don't fit in. Have you ever been in a room full of people and still felt alone? You're constantly going to have that feeling because you're not with people who share the same values, visions, who see life the same way as you, who want similar things with you. So you're always going to feel lost. You're always going to feel alone. Even though there are people around you, it's always going to feel that way because you're not with your tribe. You're not with people that understand you. You're not with people that see things the way you do. And it can actually affect you. It can affect the way you see life. It can affect how you interact with people. It can even affect your relationship life because you're constantly feeling like people don't get you, people don't understand you. So what's the point of letting people in? So I would say when you're forming your friendships, when you're going into relationships, think about whether these people that you're making these bonds with actually share, values as you. That's the only way you can actually have mutually beneficial friendships. So the sixth thing I wish, and this one is so personal to me, because I am a sensitive bunny, as in Bernie is madam sensitive. Any small thing like this vex. But like, what I would say to you is, don't take things so personally. A lot of the time you're reading meaning that is not even there. You're overthinking things that are not even like supposed to be giving that much energy. You are carrying load that you're not supposed to be carrying. And even if you took something personal, like maybe okay, someone actually offended you and did something, you don't need to like dwell on it too much. You don't need to spend so much energy on it. Be free, be fluid, be water. This one is not working out, back and move to the next one. This one is not working out, you move. Don't be tightening your chest, like it just steals a lot of joy away from your life. It's ruins a lot of good relationships. It doesn't help, okay? It's not that deep. So point number 7, this one again, I don't know how I didn't learn this lesson early. I don't know why I never knew this or why I never applied this to my life here. And it is to learn to forgive yourself. And this isn't just for like someone who is young. Even if you're much older and you still haven't learned this lesson, you should take it. Learn to forgive yourself. You're a human being. You're capable of mistakes. When you've been in a certain environment, you've been through certain things, you kind of hold yourself to like very high standards, and sometimes when you fall short of those standards, it's so hard to like believe you could even go that low. But you need to learn to forgive yourself. You need to learn to let go. You need to give yourself grace. You're a human being, you're bound to make mistakes, and mistakes are fine. You realize you made a mistake, you retrace your steps, you correct what you can, what you can't, you let go of it and you move on. Like, don't beat yourself up too hard to the point that you don't even believe in yourself anymore. You lose confidence in yourself. And you know the worst part about not forgiving yourself? Yeah, carry that on over to people. So when people do things to you, you find it so hard to forgive them. Why? Because you can't even apply that to yourself. How can you apply it to people? Forgive yourself, move on, like literally move on. I noticed that a lot of people who forgive themselves easily, they just pick up and move on, they have happier lives. So number 8, and I so wish I learned this earlier, yeah, is nobody is really checking for you like that. And I'm not saying this in like, oh, nobody cares about you. No, what I mean is that everybody, yeah, is so swamped with their life. People barely actually remember what you did or what you do or what you're doing. Like literally, you're the only one that knows every single detail about your life. So live your life. Do what you want. Like, don't be out there thinking so hard about, oh, what are people going to say? How are they going to look at me? What opinion are they going to have about me if I do this? If you believe it, if you feel good about it, if your soul aches for it, if your soul wants it, do it. If it turns out to be a mistake, you learn it, you carry your L and you move. Like, stop thinking about what other people are going to say. Nobody is, like, people are swamped with their lives. Literally, people are consumed. I feel like it's social media that has now made, because now it's so easy to know what's going on with this person or that person. You now feel like people are spending their time thinking about what you are doing. Just forget about it. Do what you want. If it makes you happy, if it makes you sad but you want it, it's your life. Do it. Nobody is checking for you like that. Take it from me. So my 9th point, and this is kind of connected to the point I made earlier about like forgiving yourself and how you can transfer that forgiveness to other people. I would say conflict is normal. You need to get used to that idea that conflict is normal. The fact that you have conflict or you had conflict does not mean you and somebody cannot be good again. You and somebody can't be friends again. It doesn't mean your relationship is over. Conflict is normal in human relationships. There's no need to burn bridges. Like, I know this generation is obsessed now with like, if you do anything, I'll cut you off. As in, I will cut you off. Don't even play with me, We're obsessed with all these kind of things this day and age. And I'm here to tell you that it's a very wrong way to look at life. You don't need to burn bridges with people over mistake. You don't need to lose valuable relationships. You don't need to deplete your social capital just because you want to feel like you can cut people off. It's not worth it. There's no need to burn bridges. Your biggest asset in life literally is people. You don't even know where someone is going to be helpful to you in future. When you have conflict with resolution in mind. So you have a conflict, but what you're thinking about is how the problem can be resolved. It's not about how you can cut the person off. I understand there are people that have one too many times crossed their boundaries. They've done things that it's just unacceptable. That's a completely different story. But I'm talking about like you and people just fight over certain things. There's no need to burn bridges. Like, conflict is completely normal. There's also no need to be scared of conflict. I used to be scared of conflict. Like, I didn't want to fight with this person or that person. I was scared. So when something happens, you want to be the bigger person. And this takes me back to the point I mentioned about being 23-year-old is not grown, is not. No, you need to learn to stand up for yourself. If it leads to conflict, then it leads to conflict. You have the conflict, you resolve it, and you move forward. Don't be scared of conflict. It's normal. It happens. any relationship that doesn't have conflict, let me tell you, yeah, be it friendship, be it family, be it romantic, if there's no conflict, it's fake. Obviously, if you and your boyfriend are fighting every week, you need to break up. The last point, and this is something that I wish I knew so much earlier. I feel like I knew this. I applied this in my life. A lot of things happened and then I applied it or disapplied it. Or it's to accept yourself for who you are, for where you're coming from, for your situation, for your flaws, your good sides, your bad sides, your looks, your weight, your everything. Accept yourself. It's the only way that true transformation can actually begin. You want to become a better person, you have to first start by acknowledging that this is who you are. You have to start by accepting that this is what you are, this is where you are in life. It's the only way you can actually do something meaningful for yourself as an individual. But simply because you're used to listening to other people's version of who you are. Oh, they said I'm this, they said I'm that. You could just be an outspoken person who loves to share their opinion, voice their concerns, but the world around you is telling you you're aggressive, you're this one, and then before you know it, you start to believe these people. No, what you should do is actually replay situations in your head and ask yourself, is this actually aggressive or it's just me sharing my opinion? And if you realize that deep down you're actually aggressive, then you need to work on it. You need to attack it. But if deep down you realize that no, I'm just an expressive person, then you just need to accept that you're expressive and keep being expressive. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like so many women especially lose their voices in this regard simply because you keep hearing things like, you're aggressive, you're this one, is going to be, and then before you know it, you start trying to mold yourself into somebody or something that you're not. It's happening because you haven't accepted yourself. It's happening because you don't accept who you are. You are constantly looking for somebody else in yourself. I hope you find that person, but I would just advise you to accept yourself early in life, work towards being a better person, and live a happy life. So that's it for me from this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, what you thought about this, and also share certain things that you wish you knew earlier in your life. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.